Obviously, this is going to get sent to all of the guests. That's a joke. That's a joke. Bitch, get a life. Podcasting is really hard. We'll see. At least we can laugh at ourselves.
Live from Connecticut, it's Maddie Jenkins.
Hello.
Hello again.
First off, I just like to apologize to Maddie
Because we had this amazing conversation 2 days ago and then didn't record anything. So that was not
It was
great.
a trial run. I'm just going to assume you do it with all of your guests.
Oh, yeah. I like to call it a dress rehearsal. I mean, I know some of you might be worried that, like, how can we recreate what was done in the last episode? But the thing is, I'm in a much worse mood today, so it will be completely different.
Great. And I'm sober.
Oh, yeah. So basically, you should probably just turn the episode off.
This is going to be way worse. Oh.
I woke up this morning and I was like, I'm so hungry. And then I was mad at my mom for sitting on the couch. It's been a long day. Also today, sorry, I'm just going to unload. This can be like my
Oh,
therapy.
I want to hear it.
So, okay, I was doing the workout and in the back of my mind, I have all these like skinny TikTok bitches, like looking like, I don't even know what, like skinny.
Hourglass.
Yeah, they're like super skinny, but also perfectly curvy at the same time.
Exactly.
And so I was like, after my 1.5 bagels for breakfast, I was like, okay, got a glass. I did my workout and then I was going to like do a secondary little workout by riding my bike. But I did fall off my bike.
Oh, no.
And now I have like really big band-aids.
Oh, those are the worst, too.
And on my knees, and then I ripped my leggings open, and they were my favorite pair of leggings. And then this man saw me fall. He like turned around, and I was apologizing to him. I don't know why. He was so far away from me, but I was like, sorry, I'm so sorry.
Sorry, I fell.
And then I just wanted him to look away. So I just started giving thumbs up, like, I'm all good. Please come over here.
Did you cry on the bike?
No, I didn't cry.
Oh, I feel like that would have been like a good movie scene. Just crying on your bike home. At least you know how to ride a bike.
You don't know how to ride a bike?
No. Yeah, I don't know. It just like was one of those childhood things that I guess skipped over me.
Wow. Do you feel like upset about that?
No, I've never been in a situation where I've needed to ride a bike.
Didn't you also have a male babysitter?
Yes, I had a male nanny or Manny for 6 years.
When you first told me that, you were like so like sort of normal about it. But if I had a Manny, first of all, I would think every time he picked me up from school, it was like a date. I would have convinced myself he was in love with me, and I'd be like, what was your guy's name?
Oh my God. Jason.
Oh, Jason.
If he was my Manny at maybe like 7th and 8th grade, then it would have turned into those thoughts, but he stopped at 6th grade.
Okay. So I would have been like 3rd through 6th grade. I think that was when my ego was like its strongest. So he totally would have been in love with me in my mind. It's really interesting. So would you like to introduce yourself a little bit?
My name is Maddie, and I'm from Connecticut. I'm 18 years old. I'll be 19 in August. I have a brother who's 10 years older than me, one very cute pit bull rescue dog that I love named Carly, and 2 parents who are both above 60.
How did they meet?
They work together. They're both lawyers. But my dad had never married anyone before he was basically 50, which is like crazy to me.
Was he like a bachelor? Like a...
Sort of. He doesn't really talk about it that much, but he was just like this lawyer making a bunch of money, and he had 2 prior engagements, but they didn't work out, and their names were Mary and Carrie. So then we joke and say that my mom's name, her name's Brenda, so it like doesn't work, but we call her Scary. She's like the 3rd one.
Really funny. Okay, so we talked about this last time, which we talked about all of this last time, but like you said you weren't super close to your family growing up, and so that made you value your friendships a lot more.
Okay, so both my parents worked a lot because they're both lawyers, and that's why I had the Manny.
Your
They're
boyfriend.
also my boyfriend, yeah. Oh, that's so weird to call them that. And they were also a little controlling with me, a little bit helicopter parents, right? Like some girls, I find it so interesting that their moms are like their best friends and they tell their moms everything, which I actually really admire and wish I had a little bit. But so I kind of confided in my friends with stuff like that, and I think that's why I really valued my friendships and tried to build really strong ones rather than just have like throwaway friendships that you were.
Yeah.
And I'd say I'd had some of those relationships in middle school with like random
Throwaway kind, you mean?
yeah, like random hoes, just like, oh, these are my friends. We're gonna go shopping into Starbucks and try to Snapchat new boys.
Yeah, I do. I feel like that is very middle school.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wouldn't necessarily call my middle school friends random hoes, but we were definitely like super annoying.
Yeah, also a maturity thing.
Yeah.
Like,
So then when did you start having like real friends, would you say?
I'd say like sophomore and junior year. Basically, like I did the freshman year. It was pretty tough freshman year. I'd say the transition for me. My classes were a lot harder. I took on too many honors classes. So that was just an adjustment period. I didn't really get to like explore many friendships. And then sophomore year, I kind of settled down a bit, was more comfortable. And then I think that's when like partying and the drinking started. And I guess I realized like spending all that time outside of school with girls, trying to like narrow down who I really thought was like a good friend and not just like fake and would just say hi to you at parties and stuff. And I thought that a lot of girls at my school were like that too.
Well, you said freshman year when you said your time was really filled with a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't able to explore friendships. That's a really interesting thought because I've said this to you, and I think I've said it before in different episodes of the podcast, but I feel like I didn't really have good friends that I feel like I could go to them with anything until my senior year in high school. And that was the first time my boyfriend and I had broken up. So like that freed up a lot of time. And then it was like second semester, senior year, your workload is so much lighter. I'd stopped playing club soccer. Like that just opened up so much time in my schedule. And I feel like that probably allowed me to actually put more energy and time into my friendships.
Yeah. You're also not stuck in like the same routine of just being like obsessed over your workload and your sports or whatever and just seeing the same people all the time. Like,
yeah. No, that's interesting. I had never really thought about it that way. I think a lot of times I'm hard on myself when I like talk about the person I was versus the person I used to be. And I think I sometimes like draw very strict lines between the two, even though it's probably more like a fluid barrier, I would say. I've never really thought about it in terms of time. I always thought of it as like, well, I decided to grow a personality ultimately. But that's an interesting way to think of it.
you really talk about yourself as like a full 180.
I grew a lot, I would say. But there are parts of me that like are the same. I guess I just sort of exaggerate it, especially when I talk about it to other people. I don't know why. Because like I think I make fun of myself when I exaggerate it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, oh boy, now we're going to get super therapy-ish right now. But maybe it's because I'm like sort of like insecure about it.
It seems like in high school you were more closed off to who you wanted to be now. Like that's kind of what it took away. Is that similar?
Yeah, no, I think that's it. I think I was definitely more closed off.
Mm-hmm.
And if you would have like asked me, I would have been like, no, I'm so open-minded. Like love. But no, that's not actually true. Like I think I knew the right things to say if somebody asked me questions, but like when it came to actually embodying those mindsets in my own self, I didn't actually do any of that. But now I think after I've like opened myself up to be who I like want to be, I'm still insecure in being that person.
You haven't like been in that skin and that sort of personality change for long enough to be secure with it.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, but enough about me.
I like hearing about you.
There's plenty of me to go around. So your high school friends, do you still keep in touch with them?
Yes, I still have 4 girls who I would refer to as my best friends, and then those 4 girls are all in a larger friend group of 10. I feel like that's more of like our social group, and then the 4 core friends are people that I can like randomly show up at their house or randomly get food.
Yeah.
One of them I have known since like the day that my parents brought me home from the hospital. In high school, it was super cliquey and everyone was a part of one group, and to like hang out with people from different groups was like considered weird.
If you like had to rate your high school experience, would you say you liked it a lot, or like
Just high school or like
yeah, just high school?
Overall as a school, no, because I didn't like the environment. But like I think I would have done better at public school, co-ed.
Because of
Or
the
even,
co-ed thing?
yeah, the friendships that I made it worth it.
Got
So
Yeah, that's a good way to think of it. But I think it's interesting to talk about how we became friends, since the topic of this podcast is friendship. Okay, so and we met in line, like early first semester in line at a club, because your roommate's also from New Jersey, and I worked with her boyfriend one summer.
I always forget about that. That's so weird.
So random. We were in theology class together, and so we were like, oh my gosh, let's sit next to each other. But I don't think that actually happened for a little while.
That took a while. I was scared to sit next to you.
Was I scary?
Well, you took notes a lot, and that scared me because I was like on my phone the whole time.
Okay, well, initially I took notes, and then I just started journaling in that class.
Oh, okay.
That's what I started doing. And the first time you sat next to me, I was really journaling. I don't know if you were going to like read it. I don't even know. I could go back and read what I was writing because I'm sure it's like absolutely heinous.
Oh my God, I'd love to read that. We started progressively getting into like our lives like before class started.
Yes, we did. Okay, so Maddie just like encourages, not that I really need a ton of help with this.
You didn't need a lot of
if I'm like wavering, if I want to put myself out there with a guy, like Maddie's like, yeah, do it. I don't care. Do it. You don't care. Do it. And so that energy was really fun, especially in intro to biblical literature, because you really have to spice that class up somehow. So like, I just remember this one class, I was like on my phone, I was requesting so many different boys on Instagram, and I was like, should I do this? You were like, yes, do it. You just posted a bikini picture. It's perfect timing. And I was like, okay, here we go. And then I think this might have been a later class, the measurement class.
Yeah, that was towards the end.
Essentially, I had just encountered a new specimen.
Prospect.
a new man's, and I was explaining his sizing to Maddie using the Holy Bible.
And what type of sizing? I mean, height?
No, his penile measurements. And his girth. That really cemented the deal. You were like Snapchatting Bobby. How would you describe him?
Soon to be boyfriend.
Soon to be boyfriend, right? Because you guys, they're gonna date this summer. Bobby he's come to visit. I think our friend group likes him. I like him.
Yeah.
He's very tall.
It's all that matters.
To you, you have like a height.
Oh yeah. It's like you can be ugly but tall, and would prefer you over a hot 5'9" guy.
That's not me. First of all, they have to not like me back. And then from there, you can really be any height. So if you're 5'10", that works for me. It's fine. Our kids probably won't be in the NBA, but we all settle. So
So I told him how we're getting married, and now we call each other husband and wife. So
wait, tell the whole story. It's so cute.
Basically, we broke up for the first year of college, and now we're dating again. Probably break up again before college. I just don't think dating in college when he goes to Dartmouth and I go to Georgetown, and his crew schedule is so busy. Anyways, we'll not date through college, stay in touch, and hopefully I told him that we would both end up living in New York City, and we would start dating again at 25 and then date for 4 years, and then he'll propose to me with a giant ass ring
that you will pick out.
He has no taste, so I'll have to pick it out. Plan this a small wedding, just our family and close friends, because I don't have that many friends. You guys will all be bridesmaids, for sure. But I'm gonna make sure that he sends like a bunch of single friends, because he has really cute friends.
Oh my gosh.
Like his immediate friend group that are like his brothers are all super cute, so I'll have to make sure that they're all there.
Okay, please do. Now I want to be single for this wedding.
They're like tall and crew guys.
I know, it's going to be good. Basically, it'll be like the Dartmouth crew team.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But like they'll be 25 or however old.
Yeah.
So basically, Maddie and I became friends in that way. And then we have the rest of our friend group, which is a super fun name that we can get into in a minute. Everyone in this friend group, there's about 9 of us. So it's a really unique friend group, unlike one I've ever really been a part of, where people have become friends with each other, not just by knowing a mutual friend, but by actually forming relationships on their own. I think we'll be friends forever.
Me too.
So it's called Intentional Anal. And the naming ceremony occurred so the name is Intentional Anal because we were at this restaurant all drinking our bubbly, and one of our friends recounted the loss of her virginity. It included accidental penetration of the behind. Or the caboose. I wrote a paper about this and I called it the caboose in my paper. Only technical terms here. So then we all got going. Ultimately, somebody raised their glass and cheers to Intentional Anal. And then
The whole rebranding of our friend group.
right, we should get t-shirts made.
Oh, I'm down for that.
When you're hooking up with guys, dating guys, that sort of thing, how do you think that affects your friendships with your girlfriends?
I don't know. I feel like it's best to just keep things as separate as possible between your girlfriends and the guy you're hooking up with. Make sure they're in separate groups because I feel like the conflict will start once there's some overlap.
I feel like that's ideal for when you're just hooking up when it's very casual. Because when you when there's a guy that's sort of a part of your friend group that you want to hook up with or you have feelings for, I feel like that's more of a risk for everyone involved. And so you should think about it more.
Yeah.
It would be so fun to date a guy that all your girlfriends are friends with and is in your friend group. That would be fun. Well, it was good, but then when it turned bad, that would be super complicated.
Yeah, and I've seen that happen with few people. That happened to me a little bit. My first boyfriend, we would all hang out with their friend group and me, and then we dated, and then I ripped his heart out according to him and dumped him, but I was obviously still friends with my girlfriends, but we would run into each other and it'd just be weird. And I found that my girlfriend had to stick up for me a bit when he would be not nice about me in their friend group.
That's very immature. I guess it was high school, but that's very immature on his part. The number one thing I think if you date within your friend group, if something goes wrong, you can't badmouth the person to the other people.
A few weeks ago, he was getting drunk every night and texting me just mean weird things what's your body count, fuck you, just weird things. And I had to get my girlfriend to tell the guys in their friend group to tell him to stop. I didn't like having to make my girlfriend be a middleman.
Yeah. That's so annoying. Well, we talked about this, how I'm excited for the lifeguard boys this summer. And then
oh, you need to talk about that again.
Yeah. So basically, the way it's set up is there's lifeguard housing. It's all around college age, some just after.
That's so good. And
So,
it's a little friend.
Yeah. And I'm excited to just sort of meet people, harass people from my lifeguard stand. So if a whole group of boys walks by, obviously I'm not going to be minding my own business. Can you just move a little bit to the right so I can get a better view? Thank you.
I could see you with the little horn thing, just catcalling random boys.
Catcall with my whistle. So I'm thoroughly excited for that. And I didn't want to say this to my dad, but I've always been attracted to the older man. And it's not because he's failed. He's been a great father, perhaps too great. And maybe that's where the problem is.
What? Oh my God, what is the opposite? That's the opposite of daddy issues, but
I actually said this. I think I was talking to Dylan Rothschild at a party once, and I was like, I think I might have daddy too good issues.
You have daddy no issues.
Just so far on the other end of the spectrum. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
That's really funny.
I think they're attractive, a little silver fox or a tall.
So do I.
Growing up, I used to think Matt Damon was the epitome of man. And I'm not even when he was younger he was cute, but I was fully give me a Jason Bourne. And I was 12 years old and I'd sit my whole family down to watch Bourne Identity. And I'd be I'm gonna marry him.
I'm obsessed with our school's crew team.
Yeah, you are. I've actually never looked at the crew team roster. That's also another staple of our friend group is roster stalking.
Oh, yeah. I feel we all have them bookmarked.
Yes, I had the football team, the baseball team, and the lacrosse team bookmarked. Football team less so. They're not as attractive.
No, they're kind of just like big. There's a few of them, but
Yeah, there are a couple.
we know one.
Oh, I remember him. Oh my gosh, that was another moment that we became close because we both had a class with that football player. And he's
Yes.
like not for everyone. Like he has long hair. He's like a big man. And he looks like, this is mean, but he looks like pretty stupid in class. Like he doesn't pay attention. Oh my gosh, one time, so the class I had with him was this English class, and my teacher, we would play like movies from the 70s, and we were watching Taxi Driver, and there was this one scene where Robert De Niro's character goes into like theater, like an adult film, like a porn is like playing.
Adult film.
I don't know. I tried to like keep it.
Pope Francis.
Okay, yeah. So it was playing, and he hadn't contributed like all semester. And she was like, "All right, what do you think of this?" And so she made him like speak for the first time on this specific scene. And like the first thing he said, she was like, "Oh, what do you notice about this?" And he was like, "Well, it seemed to be mostly men in the theater." It's just like so awkward. Like the one thing
You never told me that. That's really funny.
because I just remembered it now. But I feel like our shared attraction over this guy was like pretty good. It was a pretty good bonding.
Yeah.
Oh, I was super in love with that lacrosse player for a brief stint. He wants to be in the Navy after college, so he's on the Division I lacrosse team, but wakes up to swim and do extra workout.
Dodged the bullet with that one. I'd feel horrible about myself.
I was telling people about him over break. Like I was like, "This is my guy." Like, Ellie, shut up. He shook your hand in a bar. Like, he hop off his dick. I really stalked him over winter break. I was having a lot of problems. I found out his mom did a local Dancing with the Stars competition. I watched her performance online.
Ellie, no, you did not.
Yeah, I did. I was like, I could be friends with her. We'd have a good Thanksgiving.
Knives Out, if you've seen that movie.
I saw it over winter break when I was obsessed with the lacrosse player.
Between rosters, you got to the movie theater?
Yeah, I like when I was closing down my phone, I was like Xing out of his mom's dance recording, his dad's construction business website, his cousin's house in Florida, and his Facebook profile. So I just had to clear those all off so I could watch Knives Out.
Please turn off your phone. So now there's like one more screenshot, please. I'm almost to the great grandma, please.
Like his mom is about to stick the landing. Can you give me a second?
In her hometown, Dancing with the Stars. Give me a second.
Okay, well, Maddie, this was so great. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed my second time being on your podcast. I'm going to count this as my second time. Like, I'm the only guest with 2 times on your podcast.
True. You're the most prized guest.